Well, I'm aware that books are not available. They're the books of my colleague publishers, and the reasons are, as the permanent secretary of the book commission has said already. I can just add to say that most publishers, first of all, in the local publishing industry, most local publishers don't have the financial capability to print the thousands of books that are required to be able to satisfy the entire market. So what they do is they print a few thousands, maybe 5,000, and then they supply the market, and they get paid, and then they go back again to go and print. So you see in the books of local publishers who don't have the ability to print big stock at once would be available intermittently. So this week you have some stock, and next week you don't have stock, and the next other week you have stock. Now, so that's how it's happening with local publishers. It's a problem of money, problem of financing. Then for the international publisher, there's just no reason why an international publisher with the capacity to print and to finance its operation should not have books in the market. I mean, the public sector has given the reasons of them not having a warehouse here and they not waiting for people locally to import the books before they come, is because they are international. They're not Cameroonians, and their priority is not Cameroon. Their priority is their business. But local publishers, some of who we are, yes, we're doing business, but our priority is also our country. Because what explains that an international publisher with so much capability will not be able to print books in time and have them in the country? Nothing explains that. So the challenge here is how to support the local industry such that they're able to fund their business. I don't know. I mean, it's private initiatives. People need to be ready. If you're joining a business, they have to be sure that they can do the business. So I think the book commission needs to relook at whose books are being approved and how are they tested? Have they proven that they can finance themselves and make books available so that our children are suffering in classes without books? And now, you're asking if I can assure the parents about availability. Well, I cannot assure the parents about availability of the books of other publishers. I'm not speaking for every publisher. I'm just taking notice of what is happening and speaking from experience of what I see happening in the industry. I can assure the parents about NMI Education books. NMI Education has 56 titles approved on the book list. And NMI Education represents Cambridge that has about 14 titles approved. And NMI in Cameroon is managing, therefore, 72 titles approved. And all these books were available months before school reopening, and the new titles approved only in 2020 were available at least 3 weeks before schools reopening. So at NMI, with Cambridge book, we don't have a problem. I can assure parents on those ones that they are available in the market in big quantities, and we have always had those books available. And so distribution happens in this way. The publisher supplies the the person who does distribution to bookshops. Now, it requires the distributor to have the money to buy from the publisher, every publisher that is approved, the number of books that will allow him to cover the entire country. So the distributor will have to carry books to Marwa, to Bamenda, to Betwa, to Boya, say by moving books down there so he can service the booksellers in each of those localities. So but in Cameroon, there are not many distributors that cover the territory. Some of them have 2 branches, Douala and Yaoundé. Others have 5, 6 branches covering Bafoussam, Douala, Yaoundé, Garoua. But there's a huge cost that goes with distribution. And most of the publishers, local publishers particularly, are not ready to give the kind of discounts that will help the distributor to sponsor the movement of those books to those different areas. So this is also one of the reasons why some books are not available. Some books are not available in the bookshops, not because the publisher doesn't have the books, but because the few that he printed, he wants to make sure he has cash up front, so he can go and print more books. So sometimes the distributor is not able to buy all the books from all the booksellers, the publishers, so he doesn't have money. He buys what he can buy, and those are the ones that will be available. So it's a little complex distribution of school textbooks in the country. So that is what I can say about that. And I think if there's anything to say, it would be that the one textbook per subject policy is a very good policy that, if well managed, can service the country. Maybe after 3 years of this policy being in place, lessons can be learned, and there could be a sitting to analyze and see what more can be done to make it more productive and more successful, so that truly it services the parents. The challenge, the big challenge, is parents need to seize the opportunity, but they are not seizing the opportunity. In the one book policy, prices have been brought down more than, about more than 28 to 38% of prices have been reduced on books. But parents are still not seizing the opportunity to buy their books. So sometimes they're just happy to hear the message that books are not available, and they take it as a pretext. You don't have a pretext for not educating your child because somebody says books are not available. Go to bookshops and look for. There's some books that are available. Not all books are available. Buy those that are available in the meantime. Use the opportunity, because some books that are available you can start using them while waiting for those that will be coming. So that's what I can say to contribute to these challenging times of books not being available back to school. We need to stop this wives' tale, old wives' tale, that every year we're talking about books not being available. I mean, the policies have changed. If the policy changes and cannot resolve the problems of the past, then the policy needs to be relooked at it again. What is exactly going on that the policy has changed, but the same complaints about books not being available are still coming up? We need to look at that. Thank you.